Pretty good, huh?
It's good.
Hi guys, thanks for clicking on the video. Today we're going to be doing a before and after on some street tires, and the after is going to be with some Mickey Thompson drag radials. The street tire is a Nitto 555 G2. It is a 305 35 19, and the radial here is a 275 40 17. But don't let the size fool you. Even though it is not as wide as a street tire, it is a much softer compound. It's going to have a lot more traction. This car is making roughly 480 to the wheel. It's a LS3 Corvette. Texas Speed Stage 4 cam, full exhaust, dyno tuned, 3200 stall, so it should just blow the tires away. So it's definitely going to see an improvement seeing the drag radials. But let's see what it does on the stock street tires. I'm going to be using the Draggy app to measure 0 to 60 and 60 foot time. It's really accurate, and it should give us a really good idea on what this car does. 0 to 30, 2.35, 0 to 60, 4.6, 60 foot, 2.2. I'm not sure if he stated it throughout the 8th mile, but the 8th was 8.24. We're really just looking for 0 to 60 and 60 foot. And it spun a lot. It pretty much blew the tires off and still managed a 4.6, 0 to 60. That's pretty impressive on the street, on street tires.
Yeah, ready.
So that one, he spun a lot more. 0 to 30, 2.5, 0 to 60, 4.9, 60 foot, 2.4. So we use the best of the two runs. The 2.2 60 foot, I think it was like 4 point, I forgot the 0 to 60, but it's in here. All right, so our best time was a 2.2 60 foot with the Nitto 555 G2s. I'm gonna go ahead and swap out those for these Mickey Thompson radials. Like I said, 275 40 17. They are smaller, but they are a lot softer, a lot stickier, and they will hook a lot better than those Nittos, which are a 305 35 19.
His dad was a miner. I thought he was a Bears mechanic. His dad was a guard for the Bears.
All right, so we're on the way for round 2. We're gonna try to beat our time of 2.2 60 foot, 4.6 0 to 60. They say every 1/10 of a second you're improving your 60 foot is 2/10 at the end of the track. It multiplies itself. Basically, to improve your time in the 1/4 mile or 1/8 mile, the best thing you can do is try to improve your 60 foot. So that, you know, that's tire, suspension, weight reduction, all that stuff really helps the final numbers at the end of the track. I'm gonna predict a 1.8 60 foot. What do you think?
Let's go 1.9. That would be conservative.
1.9. All right, he says 1.9. I think he'll do a 1.8 because it did feel like he spun a lot. But even with these drag reels, it might even still spin on the street. It's not the same as being on like at the track with track prep and all that. It's no matter what you do, you can't get the best times on the street as you can at the actual track. But still, it's cool to have a tool to be able to measure before and after. We're gonna go in the exact same route, the same little, we're gonna make 2 hits, the exact same places to at least get that in common. And just do the best we can do and see what happens. Hold on. Motherfucker launches, dude.
It felt a little better that time.
Okay, I'm gonna read off the data. 0 to 30, 1.7. 0 to 60, 3.6. 60 foot, 1.9. 8th mile, 7.5. 1,000, we let out probably at or right before the 8th mile. So 8th mile was 7.5, 1,000 foot was 10 second. Quarter mile, coasting through the quarter mile is 12.9. But according to the 8th mile, that should be mid to high 11 second quarter pass in the quarter mile. But that's not really what we're looking at here. What we're paying attention to is the 60 foot, 0 to 60 and 60 foot. So let's get back and put those numbers side by side. All right, so that's a wrap for this video. So basically, to recap, what we learned is that with the drag radials, we picked up 3/10 in the 60 foot. And what I was trying to explain is that's really important if you're trying to improve your overall quarter mile time. It's really important to get that initial 60 foot down because it really lowers the overall average. They say that, you know, for every 10th you gain in the 60 turns to 2/10 at the end of the track. So by picking up 3/10 with the drag radials, that translates to picking up a total of 6/10 in the overall time. It can be a little confusing, but pretty much, say we ran a 12.0 on the street tires with the drag radials, that translates to 11.4. So yeah, so it's 3/10 in the 60 foot with the drag radials, and the 0 to 60 was almost an entire second better with the drag radials over the street tires. I believe it was like a 4.4 to a 3.5 or 3.6 or something like that. I'm sure by this point I've put before and afters in the video. It was like an 8 or 9/10 second improvement in the 0 to 60. That was really impressive, and it was also with a little bit of tire spin. To improve it, we could air out the tires. That'll help traction. And not only that, having a passenger makes a big difference. I'm pretty much a 200-pound guy, and another roll of the track is every 100 pounds is 1/10 of a second. So just by me not being in the car, it would have picked up an entire 2/10 of a second in the overall quarter mile time. Even though we didn't really measure quarter mile time, but you get the idea. It all, weight, traction, it all plays a big role in the times you're trying to get. But if this video was helpful, if you liked it, if you have any questions or want to see any other before and afters using this draggy thing, just let me know in the comments. Hope you liked it. See you in the next video. Later.